Hello everybody and welcome to the NBL1 Show, of course. The Ballarat men continue to dominate. Geelong and the women are on a huge winning streak, but there's been some huge signings, in particular one at Nunawading, which we'll get to very shortly. My name's Cameron Luke. Liam Santamaria, who we had the pleasure, we did the game of the week together this week. It was very fun. The Knox and Diamond Valley games, of course, the women, Knox by 26, and in the men it was Knox by how much?
Well, just a couple.
A couple of points. It was a really good game.
It was.
But yeah, good to see you again.
But finally, we've taken my advice and got
You've got to be joking.
Chelsie in the
Finally?
show. Finally.
Are you taking credit for this?
No,
you better
I am
not
saying
be.
it's the second Eltham Wildcat we've had.
Yeah. I've been on Twitter asking for this for
welcome
months.
Chelsie to the show.
Yeah, Chelsie, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm just thrown because I've been pushing for this for about a month. Liam actually questioned the Eltham Wildcats' ladies' strength of schedule in the first month, and now he's trying to take the credit.
Throwing shade.
We love you because all you do, well, not all you do, but what you particularly do well is shoot threes, and that's what I love more than anything. And welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
How are you enjoying this season? Because you look like, watching you play, you look like you're having a whole bunch of fun.
Yeah, I am. And basketball brings me a lot of joy, and hitting three-point shots definitely adds to that. And I just like to play with a lot of energy and a lot of passion.
Are you shooting the highest three-point percentage in your team?
I am not. My teammate and my housemate, Chelsie Brooke, is shooting a higher percentage than me. She likes to remind me of that every day.
Maybe we should have got Chelsea on.
Yeah, well, she's in the studio.
Tell you what, also, historic day too, because first time here for you, and hopefully not the last, but also live studio audience for the first time in the NBL1 Show.
Yeah, we've got Maggie Mulligan, Chelsea Brooke, and the Rat Pack from the Wildcats.
And they're all going to feature in these highlights. Of course, an overtime win against Hobart on a weekend. Tell us a little bit about what happened in the close game.
Yeah, so they jumped out early on
Bang.
us. We went down, a few at the half, and then our team's resilient. We've gone down a couple times this season, but we never give up. I think Hobart was up by 20, 21 at one point, and we just keep fighting. We're still out there having fun. We have each other's backs, and we knew that, that we would keep fighting till the last second.
The Wildcats, your team, are a little underrated, I think, this season. You got the likes of me saying what I've said and so on and so forth, right? But you guys are playing really well, right? You're seventh. You got a winning record, 7-4. Your history in the game, this feeling of being underrated is something you've had some experience with.
Yes, underrated for sure. I've been playing in Australia now. This is my 6th season. I think I've just been proving myself every season.
But further back, right? In college, division, you should have been playing in division, like one of those big Division 1 schools,
right?
right?
I played Division 3, something that I pride myself on. Division 3 kid who's been given a massive opportunity and really had to work hard and really improve my game a lot.
You're a Hall of Famer as well, aren't you?
I am. So I got inducted into my school Hall of Fame in 2017, and then as well as my conference Hall of Fame in 2018.
Hence why it says Hall of Famer times 2 on your pinned tweet, which I did say all the time.
Just got to show some love to the D3.
And fair enough too. Tell us a little bit about the school though, because, and probably a little bit of a knock on us, and everyone focuses traditionally on Division 1, but tell us about the school.
We are known as a powerhouse Division 3 school. We make it to the tournament almost every year. 3 out of 4 of my years in the graduating class that just went through made it to the tournament all 4 years. So we have a rich history of winning. We won 3 conference tournaments when I was there, and we made the first time in school history, a Final Four appearance. We got beat, but it was a really exciting time.
A couple of years ago, you stopped playing. And you took up a role at William and Mary in the women's program there.
Yes.
William and Mary NBL watchers will remember Marcus Thornton, who came out here, played for William and Mary. And you had a career, obviously, playing in Greece at Panathinaikos and around the world, QBL, Waratah League, but you said, that's it, I'm going to start coaching or doing some other things. And yet now, here you are in the NBL1 lighting it up. Yeah,
so I broke my nose in Portugal, and I thought...
You're playing or just told?
Playing, it was in practice. It was right before we were going to the playoffs, so it was tough, and I thought, I want to coach. I still, I want to coach, and I thought maybe it was my time. And so I went to William and Mary for a while, kind of got myself healed up, and never stopped shooting the ball, never stopped working out. So I thought, I think I still have a few more games in me. So decided to come back. Was, talking with my agent, David Wolf, and he provided me with an opportunity in Sutherland last year in the Waratah League to play with Shane Hill. So that was a really good experience for me to kind of get my feet going again.
And you dropped a 50 last year, didn't you?
I dropped 54 in Iceland, but I think it was...
You didn't have a 50 in the Waratah League?
I can't remember.
You can't remember.
That's some big numbers.
Yeah,
MVP.
no, well, fair. It all is into one. Okay, I understand that.
The MVP of the Waratah League?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll say you had a 50 because traditionally when we have people on the show, we then push them to go out and have 50.
You have to drop 50 to get on the show.
We continue to put it on, so we need to see 50 somewhat.
Well, then after that 50, Chelsie and the girls went to Frankston and took care of business.
Yes.
Let's talk about your team and the season, 7-4 as we said.
Yeah.
So a bunch of really good wins.
Yeah.
A bit of a hiccup loss to Ballarat at one point, which you'd like to get back. The one out of the kind of top teams, it was a good win over Ringwood, but week after week we talk about Geelong, Bendigo, Dandenong, and Knox now you'd have to put up there, and also Nunawading. You've played one of those teams so far. No, two. Nunawading and Geelong, gone down to both of them. Measuring yourself up, you've clearly been getting the job done against all those other teams in that next tier. But measuring your team and yourselves up against them, how far off them do you think you are?
I just think right now we're getting better every week. Like, we're a very young team. We're new. We came up from the Big V. But I think for us right now, it's just about getting better every single week and piecing together and moving forward and watching the film and trying to minimize the errors that we're making right now and just using that and growing and getting a step better every single week. I definitely think that we'll compete. We have a team, like I said, full of fighters. We don't give up. I still think those teams are a bit more experienced than we are. They've got several high-profile WNBL players on their roster with a lot of experience that we are lacking. But I do think that with a team that fights like we do and never gives up, I think that we're not far behind.
And you talk about that group of teams, Nunawading, who you might have mentioned already, but they added Maddie Garrick as well, fresh off a gold in the 3x3 Asia Cup. Obviously, very, very good play. Have you played against her at all?
I played against Maddie last year in the 3-on-3 NBL Pro Hustle up in Sydney. And she's a heck of a player. She can shoot it. She can come off the bounce. She can defend. She's long. She's athletic. Loves to shoot the 3 ball. She's a very exciting player.
It's a huge get by Nunawading.
Huge get. Those teams aren't messing around.
No.
I mean, Nadine Payne goes down and she's going to be out for a bit. Bendigo bring in Tess Magent, who is a baller in her own right. And, certainly Maddie Garrick coming in off time in Europe. She was playing in Poland, I think, and then straight to the 3x3, Asia Cup gold medal, and then straight into this squad. So that's a big in for them. And they have actually been playing pretty well. They went down this weekend to Bendigo at home. It was a close one, but prior to that, they were playing really well, and that vaults them right up into that tier of legit contenders. All right,
we're going to need a shout out to, I think, to the Centre of Excellence, who went into last weekend without a win and got 2 knocked off Diamond Valley on the Friday night, then beat Launceston on the Sunday. So to the young girls who, of course, consistency, you talk about having a young team yourself, struggling to put it together, but to have 2 wins on the weekend, Liam's a great confidence boost for the kids.
Yeah. I lost to Waverley, thrown in there as well. But yes, it's a triple header. Which makes that win over Launceston
on the Sunday.
Yeah, even that more impressive. Despite the fact that Launceston's struggling a little bit at the moment.
You're not going to bring. Bring up strength of schedule.
They are.
I actually was at the Diamond Valley Center of Excellence game.
Right.
Yeah. So. Hey, they're very exciting. They play with a lot of energy. They play with a lot of passion. They just keep going. If they turn the ball over, they make a mistake. They don't give up. They keep playing hard. There's a lot of talent on that team, and Veely definitely has those girls working hard.
Frankston also got 2 wins on the weekend, which is a good bounce back for them. And also Knox, who are just starting to really get it together. We called them their win over Diamond Valley. And then to back that up the next day and win despite Monique Conti putting 35 on the board, I thought was really impressive.
All right, let's talk about the men. Let's talk about Knox and Melbourne on the Sunday. You and I did mention we did Knox and Diamond Valley on Saturday night, and we watched the men win.
Yes.
On Saturday night. And obviously Sunday, it's a little bit of a changing guard as we look at the game here because there's a couple of players out of both these teams who are on the South East Melbourne Phoenix tour into China as well. Knox, from watching them Saturday night, I cannot believe their struggles. What can you put it down to? Because no Dane Pinot, who's been the best player for Melbourne and putting up massive numbers.
Yeah, no Jack Purchase.
Not Purchase either as well. So they're missing 2 main guys, although Purchase has only been there a couple of games. Well, there's our man, Paz. We asked him to do that actually a couple of weeks ago on this show. So see him deliver.
Well, they're
what do you make of Knox?
Well, they're a good team, firstly, Melbourne, right?
Wells
had 26.
We'll get to that. But
Luxford, good numbers.
I want it on Knox because we watched them.
I'm trying to... Be positive here.
Oh, you're trying to be positive. You just had to go with the strengths of schedule.
No, come on.
For the centre excellence.
Yeah. No, they haven't come together, the Raiders.
Yeah.
They are stacked full of talent. You look down their roster, especially their starting lineup, and you see Mike Rose, Damon Hire, Adam Thosby, James Hunter, Cedarian Rains. I'm still not sure whether it's Cedarian or Kadarian, but our man Ducky was rolling with Cedarian.
He was. I'd say big shout out to Ducky as well, who loves us on Twitter. Over
Knox
the
basketball aficionado.
He was.
And you think this team should be winning more games.
No doubt.
So they're 4 and 6. And if they piece it together, and if guys like Damon Hire and Adam Thosby really find their rhythm together, and Cedarian Rains gets more aggressive, it's a team that could make some noise. But
he was so aggressive on Saturday night.
At times. At times. I mean, that guy Cedarian Rains should be averaging 20 and 10.
I couldn't believe he wasn't when I looked at the stats, and he's giving us 11 and 8.
Yeah.
That big and that powerful.
So they need to put it together and go on a bit of a run. They've got a tough matchup this week against Dandenong. They're not going to have James Hunter for that game, and if they lose that, they're going to be 4 and 8, and no, they'll be 4 and 7, and the season will be really starting to get away from
All right, on Melbourne, they're now up to 3rd. Now, Dane Pinot obviously wasn't there. And when are they back, South East Melbourne finish? You'll miss next week.
They'll miss
as well.
this weekend.
So him and Purchase will both miss as well. But we've kind of slipped on Melbourne just a little bit. I'm not really know why, but apologies to the crew and everyone at the Tigers. But they're a team to be reckoned with. They're winning games, and this is interesting to see how they go without a couple of their main guys next weekend.
Well, one tick, that win over Knox. And then we see how they go this week. Who do they play?
They got Albury-Wodonga on Sunday.
Well, which is a really intriguing game because Albury-Wodonga, I can't work them out for the life of me, their men's team. They lose to Ballarat by 60.
It was a close 60, I keep telling you this.
They go to Hobart and they go 0 and 2.
Yeah, that's the first I've ever heard that. Close 60.
They go to Tassie, they go 0 and 2 down in Tassie, and then they come back and they beat Kilsyth.
Yeah.
And they nearly beat Geelong. I don't know what's going on with that Albury-Wodonga team, but... So
Deborah George, what happened on Saturday night, he was
Deborah
outstanding.
George, yeah. So that's a great bounce back for them, and they need to take care of business against Melbourne, that undermanned Melbourne squad.
Where's Kilsyth at? Because many people believe, and myself included, thought they were going to have a pretty good year, and they still, where are we? 6 and 4, sitting 6th on the ladder, but they've lost 4 in a row. They dropped that game to Southern, they dropped that game to Diamond Valley, both winnable games. They've obviously dropped to Ballarat, which was a loss. Their second in a row after the loss to Southern. And then, of course, on Saturday night, this is a team stacked with a great deal of talent. Pete Hawley's playing really well. They got Isaac Turner, their point guard, who's missed some games with that hand injury, but is back out there. Smith Milner, of course, who's an NBL player. Felix Von Hoff off the bench. They're a talented team, and we all thought, looking at them, it's going to be them and Ballarat, 2 best teams in it. The last month, Schuler, of course, assistant coach of Melbourne United, patrolling the sidelines. It's been really disappointing to watch them be able to not win games and to go to Albury-Wodonga. And Deborah George was outstanding, but an import down and struggling a little bit, as you said, hard to get a read on. That's a game, if you want to win the whole thing, you can't drop.
Do you want to take this on Kilsyth? No? You good?
I'm good.
I'm good too.
No.
I said they're slumping, and I think they'll come good.
Did they drink their own bathwater, do you think?
No, not necessarily. I mean, they've been in all these games. They didn't get rolled over in any of these games. They were in that close game against Diamond Valley. They were in this game against Albury-Wodonga, and they just need to refine their mojo. You're going to get a look at Kilsyth this week. Do you watch the men's games after yours?
Yeah,
or?
we do. For sure. I mean, we got to watch our Josh Sykes throwing it down above the rim every week. That's exciting. So, yeah, we check it out.
He got the game that I commentated, the Ringwood Eltham games. He got in 3 fouls in the first 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I went there excited, obviously, to see you first, and then Josh Sykes, who is a guest on the show as well.
Yeah.
He gets in
He's
foul
coming
trouble.
good.
He didn't even get one dunk that night.
Nah, he is really coming good, right? Like
Yeah, he
staying
is.
on the floor, staying out of foul trouble.
Yeah, they always talked about him and his foul trouble and just trying to stay out of it. I think he has been for the most part lately. He's a big piece of what they do. He brings a lot of energy. The crowd loves him. Our fans love him. So it's important that he stay out of foul trouble and stay on the court.
How do you like the gym? Liam and I played a lot of basketball against Eltham over the years. It's a cosy little gym, but it's not somewhere if your opposition, when it's packed, you like to go.
So it's really exciting, actually. We pride ourselves on having a family-oriented culture. The fans are almost like right there on the court with us. And it's really exciting atmosphere. There's a lot of big things happening right now at Eltham. We just found out that we got approval to expand. So we're going to put a $16 million expansion onto Montmorency. So it'll be 3 courts added to that. So it's just really exciting right now. So we'll be expanding where we play and get some more fans out there. But it's just a family-oriented culture, and it's a lot of fun playing in that gym.
Your posse of girls that come and support you in particular, do you have a name for like Bogut has that like Area 6?
Area 6.
Have you got a name for your crew that come and...
I don't have a name for them, but they are there every week. It helps that I train a lot of the junior players, and they look forward to coming to the game, and they love to scream for us, and it's really exciting.
You've been in the QBL, the Waratah League now. Is there any sort of sight towards getting some Australian residency, citizenship, playing here as an Australian?
Yeah, so I have applied for my permanent residency. Just still waiting on a result from that, as I'm just told that can take some time. So trying to stay patient, and it's out of my hands, so I just let it run its course.
Did you talk about the family atmosphere there at the Wildcats? Is this somewhere you could see yourself being potentially longer term?
Yeah, for sure. It is. It's a really family-oriented culture. I really like to give back to the kids, because I've been given so much from the game of basketball, and if I can give back to the community and help girls that look up to me, let them know that they can reach their potential, I think that's really important. And I think no better place than Eltham for that. Is the club really prides themselves on family. So yeah, I could see myself here for a little while.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, we did do the women's MVP candidates, and your name was on it, but we are doing the men's today, which is always something we always stuff it up. We should really, well, we should probably just have the correlation to the guest. I think when we had a male guest...
How are we going to have the men's MVP talk when I'm...
Well,
we have a woman on the show. Come on, guys.
Well, we actually went the other way. We had a male guest, and then we had the women's MVP.
We had Foz in here.
That just proves how disorganised Liam and I are. But let's have a look at the men's MVP race. As we have a look at this, Dane Pinot's having an outstanding year and given us 2020 on a number of occasions.
No Wildcats.
Ray Turner, no Sykes up there. Of course, Jerry Evans Jr., who's leading the way so beautifully at Ballarat. Simon Conn, those numbers, that's just copy-paste from his last 10 years at Nunawading.
It is.
And of course,
can we round those up just quietly, Simon Conn? 19.9, 9.9. Can we give him 20 and 10?
No.
I think we can.
No, don't round up.
On the graphic?
No, you don't round up until he'll give us... All right, who have they got? Who have Nunawading got this week? Nunawading, as I look at this, and this is taking a little while. There you go. All right, so he'll give us 21 and 11 this weekend,
and bump it up.
Okay. And he's earned it without us giving.
There are a couple of these guys. What I like about this is that apart from Ray Turner, they're all teams with winning records.
Yep.
So we're going to talk MVP. Let's talk about the teams that are getting it done and winning at the top, because there are some other names that you could potentially have up there in terms of just pure numbers, not necessarily wins. So Ken Jar-Bosley, for example, leading the league in scoring.
Injury's going to hurt him a little bit, though.
Josh Adams from Hobart's been second in the league in scoring, putting up big numbers. I like the fact that we've got a bunch of guys here that are getting, their teams are getting the job done. And Dane Swatella is pretty much averaging those same numbers that Simon Conn's averaging, and with some threes as well.
The MVP's up on there.
You think so?
Yep. Dane Pinot. He's been huge, huge. Given 20 and 20 on occasions as well. Averaged 16 and I'm not going to round it up, so 15.7 or whatever it was. I think he's been outstanding, and we have slept a little bit on Melbourne at different times, and I think we'll get an indication, hopefully for the depth of Melbourne and their fans and their players. They play well this weekend, but I think we'll give an indication without him this weekend how he's going, how valuable he really is.
Chelsea, as we said, we had the graphic up for you guys a couple of weeks ago. You were on there. If it wasn't you that was the MVP at this point in the season, like I said, you've played Nunawading, you've played Geelong, you've played Dandenong, you haven't played Bendigo, who have some girls playing really, really well. Of the teams, either from the whole league, having kept an eye on it, or from the teams that you've played against, who would you tip your hat to at this point?
You would have to say Beck Cole. She's dominating the offensive game right now. Her team's winning. She's another high-energy player. She puts her team on her back. She's a leader. You have to tip it to her.
And we saw this week how much of an impact it has on them when she's not there.
She's not there. All right. Hey, crazy. Well, you and I just finished up at Knox on Saturday night, and that crazy finish was leaking out on Twitter at Frankston. If you want to throw the highlights how this played out, because you mentioned it. You mentioned it. Every time we seem to go on Twitter, at NBL1, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it might be.
It's going off in Frankston.
Frankston's going nuts.
Yes.
This is a team that we were a little bit harsh on early because they were struggling. Now they're getting that... they're better their roster together and they're starting to get going. And yet again, fun to watch.
Yeah, and Iggy Hadzamerovic playing so well. That was the crazy three to send it into OT. This one in overtime, tying it up late, and eventually they went down. Who did they go down?
Hobart, your man.
Hobart.
Tad Jr.
Tad Duffelmeyer Jr. So shout out to Iggy and those crazy shots. That was awesome. But Duffelmeyer Jr. is playing really, really well.
He is. And of course, as we gave the shout out last week, I give extra credit points to someone who names their kid after them.
Yes.
So Tad Duffelmeyer Sr., who was such a great in the NBL in the 90s.
Yep.
You know, that's an extra 10
I
credit
reckon
points.
we might see him in the NBL this season, as you suggested.
Senior's probably going to be
not the old man. But the youngster, 23 years old, out of Concordia University, which is where Cam Glidden went.
Yes.
Took a year off, back playing at a really high level. He's the only player in the men's NBL1 averaging at least 20 points and at least 5 assists. His shooting clips 51, 38, 94. So almost 50, 40, 90. At
You're
such
going to
a young
round that
age.
up or you're going to keep it?
I'm rounding that one up. Doing really, really well. And there are a couple of teams having a good close look at him, at least for a development spot this season.
All right, what game are you looking forward to this weekend, mate?
These guys.
It's got to be the game of the week.
Yeah.
Eltham and Kilsyth.
Yes. Because Kilsyth they're playing really, really well. They're on a 5-game winning streak. Lauren Nicholson, stacked with talent. And
well, she's included in MVP candidates because when she doesn't play, it's obvious when it comes to the Kilsyth women how they go.
But this is 7 versus 8.
Oh.
And Eltham, as we spoke about, you guys taking care of business against the lower teams, maybe not quite as much against the teams higher, but you beat Ringwood, who's just a couple above you, and this one, a team that started slowly but has been motoring in recent times.
And the craziest part for us is it's a home game, and we've been struggling at home.
Right.
We've come out slow the past couple weeks on our own home court. So hopefully we'll use that as motivation this week and jump on them from the start and not have to dig ourselves out of a 15, 20-point deficit. Although we know that we're capable of doing that, we would prefer not to.
I was just thinking why, because I never played well at Eltham either, because the McDonald's just down the road always got me on the way.
In the women,
we're definitely guilty of a few McDonald's stops.
Knox and Dandenong, because we're hearing whispers that maybe Bet Cole might not be there for Dandenong this week.
Oh, how come?
I think maybe she might not be there for some more 3x3 commitments.
Well, when she joined us in the show or on the show a couple of times, that was the big thing with come to Dandenong. The 3x3, of course, Asia Cup, World Cup not far away, and of course focusing so much on the Olympics and ranking points and ratings and qualifying and all the rest of it. So that's
so Dandenong lost those 2 big games on the weekend without her, and then they play Knox, who are on a 4-game winning streak and have climbed up in a 4th spot. So that's a good one.
They were really good to watch on Saturday night.
And also in the women's, Ringwood and Bendigo. So I feel like Bendigo, it's fun. These Geelong, Bendigo, Dandenong, whenever a team that is playing well gets their chance to have a crack at those teams, it's kind of fun. And Ringwood, whilst they lost this week to Frankston, which was a good win by Frankston, that's an interesting one to keep an eye on as well.
You know what you probably should have showed at some point? At the end, did you? I know you went to Diamond Valley in the Centre of Excellence. Did you hang around for the men's game?
Yeah, we did.
The end of it?
Yeah, where they almost won on that buzzer beater when Diamond Valley turned the ball over down the second, and then we got it. I thought that was good. I thought that 3 was going, honestly. I think he had another second to kind of shoot a better shot. He kind of just threw up a floater, but it almost went in.
This is probably something I should have we should have spoken this off air, Liam, but I'll do it now. Yeah, you know the NBA, the media vote for all the major awards. Are you and I going to get a vote in the MVP?
No, I would prefer not to.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's so many teams in this league.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch all the games. So I think it's better to have a voting system in this league where it's game by game.
Yeah, well said.
But also, hold on, in the men.
Oh, hang on.
I've got a couple of games to flag in the men.
Oh, okay,
because Ballarat, right, they're 9-1 on top of the table.
Yes, they are.
Frankston have won 5 of their last 6. And they get to have a crack at them this week.
No Dan Trist.
Oh.
Or no, but...
Good call.
No Denga Kuth either. I'm assuming he's in.
Nah, he's still playing for Ballarat.
Why did he? What is that about?
I think it was. Don't know. It was a bit late in the piece signing him.
Well, no Dan Trist for Frankston will hurt them.
Good call. Good call. And Albury-Wodonga versus Nunawading. But the 2 Albury-Wodonga games this week to get a better gauge of what the Bandits are all about.
All right. Now, did you hit the gym Sunday night after your game?
I did. How did you guys know?
Oh, well, I seen it on Instagram. I thought surely this is an old photo reposted.
Oh, no, I did. Just to do a little bit of just cooling down and stretching and foam rolling and preparing myself for the next week. I'm really big into the gym. I like to work out and stay fit.
Did you take your housemates along with you? Did they come with you?
They sat that one out. They left me hanging.
Really?
Smart move. That's always. That's the motto I've had for. Well, forever, actually.
Sit it out?
Sit it out.
Sit it out.
I've never been to a gym. All right, no, we're getting out of here. Thank you, Chelsie, for
No
coming.
worries.
Yes.
Thanks for having me,
Good
guys.
luck
It's
for
been
the rest
a pleasure.
of the season.
Their game of the week, of course, is Eltham and Kilsyth this weekend at NBL on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, and, of course, on the YouTube channel. I think one of us might end up being at Eltham this weekend.
I think that's you.
I can't believe you guys would miss it. Surely we're going to put on a good show for you.
Yeah, we just got to.
And Kilsyth, that thing's going to be packed.
Yeah, huge.
Big game.
Huge. Can't
Hit
wait
a
for
few
it.
exciting threes for you guys.
I have no doubt. All right, on that note, NBL1, thank you, Chelsie. Thank you, Liam. We'll see you next week.